This community is a covenantal relationship. This is beyond what Sam's Car or Costco or your phone contract is. This is a covenantal relationship that is irrevocable, that is unbreakable. This is the concept that this relationship, please listen to me for a second. This relationship is means to an end. We do not worship the relationship. Translation, think about marriage. As much as I love marriage, and this coming Saturday, I'm gonna do for, this is my fourth. This is my fourth, and I began pastoring about 27 years ago. This is the 50th anniversary that I'm gonna celebrate. So on Saturday, I'm gonna have two individuals that they've been married for 50 years. And as much as I'm gonna give them credit and I'm gonna preach the gospel, here's what I'm gonna remind them, what I'm gonna remind you. Marriage is means to an end. I love marriage because that takes me to the bride, right? The win is the bride. The win is not to be married. The win is not to avoid singleness. So think in the relationship. The relationship with God is extremely important because He takes me to, what's the win? The win is God. So church membership, if you think about church membership, is important because it's the vehicle to what? It's the vehicle to others. That's why we value this conversation. So here's what I want you to hear. The concept of community is the concept of community that in reality, Paul is telling us there is no way you can divorce your relationship with God, whatever that may mean for you, and your relationship with others. You can't do that. In these churches, we're doing it. So for us, what does that mean for us? Here's what it means. For us, that means water baptism. This is one of the best ways to symbolize and really exemplify this. Why? Because water baptism, which is an external illustration, an external experience of something that happened internally, see, it is the reflection of the individual. We practice what is called believer's baptism. What does that mean? Here's what it means. We believe, this is believer baptism, we believe that baptism does not save you, but because you're saved, you get baptized. Does that make sense? Baptism doesn't save you. If you go through water baptism, doesn't mean that you have a relationship with God. It simply means that since you have a relationship with God, that's why you get baptized. So here's the point. The individual is brought into the water. We call this the water grave. It's like a graveside. So we literally dunk you. We put you underwater because you going underwater is the way that you exemplify your relationship with God. You have to die spiritually. You have to die to self to join God. God is not the God that is simply going to improve or give you a better version of yourself. When you die, and in this case illustrated by baptism, and you are brought into the water, it's because you have, just like Jesus, for 3 days, He was on a graveside. He died. For Jesus to conquer sin and hell and Satan, He had to die. So you are joined with Jesus through that, but once you come out of the water, and by the way, this picture, is the person going down or is coming up? Where is the person? Can the picture tell you where the whole motion is? It's pretty obvious that it's coming up. You see the water, right? So here's the point. When you come out of the water, just like this young lady is coming out of the water, as you come out of the water, you are not simply coming out of the water so you can have an assurance to be with God one day. You come out of the water to have a relationship with the body of Christ. So you go into the water to relate to God. You come out of the water to relate to others.